Hi, I'm Alex Sesta. These are my boys, Paul and Murat, and today we're going to examine a philosophical debate that has frustrated philosophers for centuries. What is the meaning of life? How can such a loaded question be answered? The simple answer is that it's completely open to personal beliefs. There are many different perspectives on what life truly is and the meaning behind it. One example is Platonism, which defines the meaning of life as attaining the highest form of knowledge, which all good and just things have value. When he is trying to answer such difficult questions pertaining to the definition of justice, Plato identifies that we should not introduce every form of difference and sameness in nature. Instead, we must focus on the one form of sameness and difference that was relevant to the particular ways of life themselves, which is the form of good.
Antisthenes, a pupil of Socrates, first outlined the themes of cynicism, stating that the purpose of life is living a life of virtue which agrees with nature. Happiness depends upon being self-sufficient and master of one's mental attitude. He believed that suffering is the consequence of false judgments of value, which causes negative emotions. The cynical life rejects conventional desires for wealth, power, health, and fame by being free of their possessions. As reasoning creatures, people could achieve happiness through training by living a way natural to human beings. The world equally belongs to everyone, so suffering is caused by false judgments of what is valuable and what is worthless based upon the conventions of society.
One component of the Epicurean meaning of life is that there's a soul, but it is as mortal as the body. What I mean by this is that there is no afterlife, so there is no reason to fear death, because death is nothing to us. It is merely an end with no pain and no suffering. Epicurus believed that if we aren't capable of feeling fear or pain after death, then it would be unreasonable to preoccupy your life worrying about the notions of death. A byproduct of accepting death is that the end of being and not ignoring or falsifying your perception of death is happiness. In essence, the Epicurean meaning of life is to find happiness through acceptance of death. In addition to this, Epicurus promotes using free will to obtain what we want as opposed to asking gods, because gods are not real. Epicurus is said to have stated, "It is folly for a man to pray to the gods for which he has the power to attain by himself." When addressing what we should strive to obtain, Epicurus also says, "Do not spoil what you have by desiring what you have not. Remember that what you have now was once among the things you only hoped for." This mindset is a supplement to achieving happiness. Which of the past three views do you agree with the most? As you can see through the past three views on the meaning of life, everyone has a different perspective on the meaning of life. Where Antisthenes thought happiness was dependent upon being self-sufficient and a master of one's mental attitude, Epicurus thought happiness was achieved through the acceptance. Being a master of one's mental attitude as well as happiness are two ideas incorporated into these philosophers' beliefs. My personal belief incorporates parts of the other beliefs. I think that the goal is for everyone to be happy, and this in turn will create a united society.
We have our own personal views, but it wouldn't be fair to only show our views. Here is what some other people think the meaning of life is.
The meaning of life is to learn. Plato, a very famous philosopher, once spoke about the allegory of the cave, how education made you become enlightened and reach a larger path for your life.
The meaning of life.
So I think that the meaning of life is happiness, like the pursuit of happiness, which is something that Aristotle, a Greek philosopher himself, said a really long time ago. I think he said happiness is our something.
Now it's time for the primary document. The rules are simple. I either get the author of his passage correct, or I get shocked. Society is the collective life of individuals. If society is dissolved, there will be no memory or consciousness of the continuation of the individual after he dies. Therefore, social organization and order should be respected. To carry out one's will and to satisfy his desires, everything from food and sex to moral reputation is desire, are the basic reasons for the individual's existence. Oh wow, this is the true meaning of life by Chen Duzhu. Yes, Chen Duzhu believed that we are all individuals working together to create a society. Although separate, we must all work together to form an organized society.
We've seen here today, there are so many different views on what the meaning of life truly is. It's impossible to say that there's only one meaning of life because everyone has different personal beliefs. What do you think? Will there ever be a common consensus as to what the meaning of life is? Which of these views discussed today do you agree with the most? Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. If you want to keep watching Crash Course videos for free, Please consider subscribing and liking the video.